Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Crystalcleareyes, coming to you straight from the NYC. And I'm here with another YouTube video for you guys. Hi, how you doing out there? So you guys know I always like to start my videos off by letting anyone who's new know that the reason why I wear a mask is because I'm just an average citizen here in the NYC. I'm a mom, I'm a student. I'm studying business structure and business management, um, preparatory to incorporating myself into a 501c3 nonprofit and opening up a nonprofit in my community. So I'm just an average citizen. I don't want to be famous. And I just want to open up a conversation, and get people talking and get people thinking. So that's why I wear the mask, because I don't want to be famous. Fame is just very boring to me. But anyway, guys, let's jump right on into it. Today I was thinking about some things, looking at some headlines, and, just thinking about some things in general, in terms of, other behavior patterns, negative behavior patterns that I see unfolding amongst us, in society, in politics, in our, communities, our families. I know I've seen a lot of things unfold, and I'm wondering if you guys, have seen some things unfolding in your lives and, in your neighborhoods, your families, and, your communities where you live as well. Um, the thing that I wanted to talk about today is this terrible negative behavior pattern that seems to unfold again and again everywhere you look, all throughout society and families and industries. And I call it delusion and deceit. And it's also accompanied by collusion by the media, the mainstream media, but we'll get to that later. That's a sidebar conversation. I'm talking about delusion and deceit, which is a very dangerous game that people seem to love to play with themselves and with others, you know. And when I speak about delusion, I'm talking about self delusion, where people like to fool themselves, you know, and have this whole fantasy bubble world that they live in, you know. And then when I'm talking about deceit, I'm talking about people deceiving others, you know. And there are some who live in both worlds, you know. They live in a world of self delusion as well as a world of deceit of others, and it kind of works together, like two cogs, in a very toxic wheel. So let's get right on into it. I noticed a lot of delusion and deceit being perpetrated, for example, in a lot of these huge industries that love to try and tell we the people what to do, what to say, what to think, what's okay, what's not okay. You know, like in politics, when you look around, I mean, not just here in the US, but I'm pretty sure in other countries worldwide, when you look around and you see the politicians that are so-called representing us, or so-called representing you and your family, do you really feel like they're operating in your best interest or in their best interest? Do you feel, as though they practice delusion, they sell themselves, this image, this kind of, I like to call it a infomercial, It's like an infomercial, and they sell themselves like an infomercial. And you know what it is with infomercials. Usually when you buy a product that you see on an infomercial, it's rarely as described in the infomercial. A lot of times you're disappointed with it. And that's what happens with these politicians. They sell themselves as, I'm going to make all these changes. I'm going to do this for you people. I hear you. I want to help you. I want to do this and I want to do that. And, then when they get in office, that's when you see the deceit kick in. First, it's the delusion where they package themselves, and their handlers and their staff and their image makers package them, you know, you know, package them for mainstream public to make them look good. And then when they get in office, all those promises they made, all those commitments, that they say they stood by, I support this, I support that, all those things just fly away, like dandelion fluff. It's gone. Look at who we have in office right now. He made a lot of promises to a lot of people. Then he turned around and signed all these executive orders and started breaking a lot of those promises to the very same people that he made them to. I'm still waiting to see what Black Lives Matter is getting out of the new administration, the Biden and Harris administration. Since we have a black VP, remember? We have a black VP that they're promoting as the greatest thing since sliced bread for black people. Isn't this just Obama 2.0? We had a black president. Was that the greatest thing for us, the black American people? You guys tell me. Was that the greatest thing for your community? I just don't see it. All I see is more delusion and more deceit. Now let's take it down to, for example, the Hollywood level. You got all of these rich folks with these huge bank accounts and these huge social media followings. And they're always trying to tell us and tell you, not me, because personally I don't listen to them unless they're talking sense. If you're talking, reasonable, sensible, not trying to talk down to the peasants and tell the peasants what to do. If you're willing to have an honest conversation, man to man, woman to woman, then that's fine, But as far as, you look at them and these stars, these sports figures, these rappers, these athletes, these news media, these Hollywood movie stars, television stars, reality TV stars, on and on and on. Talking heads, daytime talk TV shows, TV talk shows. And they're all constantly trying to tell you what to think, what to like, who to vote for, who not to vote for. As though you can't think for yourself. And then here's where the delusion and the deceit kicks in. Because they're deluding themselves as though they are some higher authority to bestow their mighty wisdom upon us, the lowly masses. And then, when you see the headlines of all the scandals that they're involved in, or, the crimes that they're committing, the acts of pedophilia that they are committing, or that some are just complicit with and look the other way as it's being committed. All of you folks know who you are. I don't want to name you by name. I don't want to shame you by name. But you know who you are. And we know too. At least I do. And you look at them and you look at how vocal they are when they try to tell you what to think, who to vote for, who to like, who not to like. But then when you see the scandals in their own lives and how raggedy their own backyards are, or how their children are so dysfunctional. How are your children dysfunctional? Well, I guess that, comes from a dysfunctional family. So shouldn't they be taking care of their own backyards instead of trying to tell everybody else what to think and what to do? Because most of these folks, these same talking heads, if you tried to tell them what to think, who to vote for, or who to like or not to like, they would diss and dismiss you. Just that simple. And that's the same thing I do to them. Diss and dismiss them. So, you got to think for yourself, I know I certainly wouldn't let people who are complicit in Hollywood, in Hollyweird, where pedophilia is king, I certainly wouldn't let people like that tell me what to do, what to think, how to feel. People whose criminal records are just as long as mine, or whose families are just as toxic or dysfunctional as mine, or, hey, what? Since when are they the moral majority in authority? You know? Since when did it become time to tell the masses what to think and how to think? A very long time now. That's been going on a very long time now. It's called brainwashing. It's called propaganda. It's called rhetoric. It's called subliminal advertising. It's called talking points. Yeah, I know all about it. Mainstream media, complicit mainstream media. Yeah, I know all about it. I mean, there's even something way back on my timeline on Facebook where somebody took the time to put together a whole string of different newscasts that were going on across the country. I know they were here in the U.S. because they were all in English, and it was definitely Americanized speech pattern. So I know it was definitely here in the U.S. And it was at least 24 different newscasts across the country. And they were all doing, guess what? They were all saying the same script and calling it news. Yeah, the same script. It sent chills down my spine because it confirmed to me what I've known for years. That the mainstream media is very corrupt and is bought and paid for and told what to do by those corporations that own 90% of mainstream media. And they were all reading the same script. Now, how is that news? That's not news. That's propaganda. Because you can't tell me that 24 different newscasters had the exact same news story. And not only that, okay, you had the exact same news story, but then you read it word for word the same. And that's propaganda. Stop it. Stop it. Stop that shit. Stop calling that news. That's not news. That's here. We're feeding you what we want you to think, and we're feeding you stories that we're going to try to emotionally manipulate you with and tell you what to do and put a battery in your back, charge you up, and send you on your way. Like a little pawn on a chessboard. So now, let's get down to it, to the delusion and deceit that goes on in our communities. Or let's say, for example, in our families, households, or amongst our significant others. Because we all have significant others, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's a relationship, a husband, a wife, a loved one, There's a lot of delusion and deceit that goes on at the family level as well, the community level as well. I know people, I've noticed a behavior pattern in people close to me, because I like to study people, Psychology is one of my hobbies, And, I've noticed a lot of people, they practice this behavior pattern of delusion and deceit, where they delude themselves that everything is okay, and they live in these fantasy bubbles where they're okay, they're just fine. But then, here's the funny part. When you look at their lives, there's a whole lot of chaos, drama, tragedy, toxic, dysfunctional behaviors, or toxic people that they're involved with, predatory behaviors going on, and people just looking the other way, ignoring it, pretending that things are not happening, or minimizing things, And you look and you say, well, wait a minute. If everything is okay in your life as you say it is, then why is your life a mess? Why do you need help with things in your life? And not just, I'm not talking about a little help, because everybody needs a little help now and again. We all need a little help. But I'm talking about when you see people who consistently need you to give your full time and attention to what's going on in their life, or what they consider to be a priority, or they have constant red flag situations. They have constant drama situations, you know, drama behaviors. And they need your full attention with it. They need you to stop what you're doing right now, you, and take your time and help them out with their problems. Because they're a victim. They're a victim of society. They're a victim of their family. They're a victim of, a toxic relationship. They're a victim of, here's one. I know somebody. I'm always trying to be nice. I try to be too nice to people, and that's how I get in trouble. Victim of trying to be too nice. No, those are delusional behaviors that people use to excuse not taking care of the problems in their life properly, not learning their life lessons, and not changing their behaviors accordingly, And when you see people like that around you, or they want you to involve yourself in their life or their mess, or you find yourself involved with them for some reason, their family or their significant other, your husband, your wife, a close friend, a best friend, a neighbor, after a while, you got to stop being a fireman, especially for grown people. Now, children, that's different. Children definitely require help, because they're kids. They need direction, they need guidance. But once you see grown folks in your life and they're exhibiting toxic behavior patterns and negative drama, and they want to draw you into it, or they have a whole boatload of issues and a whole boatload of stuff they need you to do for them, but then when you turn around, you see that they're not reciprocating, they're not doing the same thing for you, put the brakes on. Stop that shit. Yeah. Don't continue to waste your time on it. Now, don't get me wrong. Anybody deserves a second chance. I do believe in second chances. But if you find yourself giving third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth chances to people, stopping what you're doing in your life, helping people out with your time, your energy, your money, your home, whatever, and you see that not only are they not reciprocating, but not only they're not, in other words, they're not doing that, giving the same energy and effort to you and to your day, your issues, or whatever's going on in your life, or you see that you're putting energy and effort toward helping people, but that they're exhibiting the same toxic negative behavior patterns over and over again, and nothing's getting better in their life, and somehow they still need your help again and again and again and again and again. After a while, it's time to cut your losses. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone. Nobody's guaranteed to live to 100 years old. We'd all like to live to 100 years old, but it's not guaranteed that we will. I myself, I've spent 45 years out of my 52 years of life. I just turned 52. My birthday was the other day. I just turned 52. I've spent 45 years out of my 52 years of life helping my family and friends. And my, when I got older, my significant other, my children, everything. Now, the only one I was obligated to was my children and my significant other, Unfortunately, he didn't feel like he was obligated to return that to me. So that's why we're not together anymore. Good luck, God bless you, thank you, and goodbye. It wasn't working out. Hey, after a while, you got to cut your losses. If you find you are involved with people and they're bringing you more bad times than good times, they're bringing you more bad memories than good memories, they're bringing you more drama and problems and headaches and aggravation than they are bringing you peace, and happy days and happy memories, And they're disturbing your peace while you're bringing them peace, or you're bringing them prosperity, or you putting a roof over their head, or whatever it is. Stop that shit. Don't keep being a victim of somebody else's bad decisions and bad choices. So, I'll leave you with that. And before I go, remember, It's not the people who are in your life. It's the people who can make a difference in your life that are important. God bless.